Thank you, Maya. Augustin Palokaj from Jutarnji List, Croatia, and Coaditore, Kosovo. I have a question on Kosovo-Serbia dialogue. I guess that all member states want the dialogue to continue, but there are differences when it comes to the possible outcome of this dialogue, meaning the possible change of borders. So what was the message after this debate that you had today on this? And one question on Bosnia-Herzegovina, if I may. Croatia raised the concern about the way how one of the members of the presidency is elected, and they think that not all three ethnic groups are equal there. And there was a letter by three former envoys to Bosnia-Herzegovina written to you complaining of Croatian interference in Bosnia-Herzegovina. Do you see interest of one EU member state regarding a candidate country as an interference in domestic affairs, or you think that this is a legitimate request?
On the dialogue, as you rightly said, there was full support for the dialogue to continue, for the dialogue to come to a positive outcome. And a positive outcome would be a legally binding, comprehensive agreement that would address and solve all issues related to normalization of relations, all, none excluded. Having said that, the dialogue doesn't belong to the European Union or to the member states of the European Union. The dialogue is facilitated by me with the excellent support of the services in the External Action Service, but the dialogue belongs to the two parties. We offer them a facilitation, a space, advice, but it is up to them to define the agenda, define the speed and the depth of discussions, and for sure it is for them to define the outcome of the dialogue. So it is definitely not for member states to say what the outcome should be. What it is relevant for the European Union, and what has been very clear from the very beginning, is that the outcome that we would welcome is an outcome that addresses in a comprehensive manner all issues related to normalization in a legally binding way, in a manner that respects the principles of international law of the European Union. And let me specifically say this would mean no ethnical divisions among countries. This, to be even more explicit, would mean that whatever adjustment the two parties might discuss in the future, that would never, I believe, end up into ethnically pure countries. Sorry to use a disturbing expression, but I think this makes things clear. So in any case, there will be a multi-ethnic country on one side and the other. Again, whatever solution that is and can be mutually agreed by the two sides, it's for them to define, it's for them to agree, it's for them to determine. It is for us to facilitate and obviously to check whether this is, in case reached, which is not the case yet, in accordance with international law and with the European Union principles. I am still positive about the fact that a legally binding comprehensive agreement on all aspects of normalization can be at reach, but currently there are some difficulties that are quite major ones. And I would mention in particular, as I mentioned already publicly before, the fact that Kosovo government introduced 100% tariffs on goods imported from Serbia and Bosnia-Herzegovina, which definitely goes contrary to the spirit and the letter of cooperation in the region. And obviously, a dialogue takes place in an environment that needs to be of confidence, or at least of respect. So I would expect the government of Kosovo to revoke this decision. The same message was passed by Commissioner Hahn during his visit in Pristina recently. But I'm still confident that the two sides can fruitfully not only continue the dialogue, but also come to a positive outcome of that. That again, as I said, belongs to them, doesn't belong to any of the European Union member states or anybody else in the world. On Bosnia-Herzegovina, This is, well, actually, the country was an issue for our discussion already 3 weeks ago in the Foreign Affairs Council specifically. We need to, first of all, encourage political leaders to assume their responsibility to rapidly form governments to take forward the reform agenda. I'm one of those that has seen the unexpected positive steps that Bosnia-Herzegovina has managed to put in place since 2014 to this year. Seen in perspective, it is quite remarkable. After the elections, it is quite normal that there is a bit of difficulties. The country has a specific setup, to use a euphemism. But I'm confident that leaders in the country, as well as the people in the country, can move forward on the reform agenda in a united manner. This is what we wish to see. We also believe that the election issue in Bosnia-Herzegovina will need to be addressed as soon as possible. Somehow finding the right balance, and I understand this is a diplomatic exercise, between the need to reconcile the country's unique setup and the European Union standards. And I believe that, again, after, I hope, after the governments are formed and the reform agenda is put again back on track, this issue can be addressed in a cooperative manner. Thank you.
Mira.